Hi everybody, welcome back to the, what are we calling this? I don't even know. What's sold, but with explanations? Yeah, that's what's coming up. Alright, so originally this was going to be a postcard video, but I just need to tighten it up a little bit more before I publish something like that. So we're going to talk about the second best thing that we sell paper-wise. Well, is it the second best? Probably. I'd say so. And then we're going to talk about one other thing that's not even related to ephemera, and then we're going to get out of here. So today we're going to talk about photos, and we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about, why people buy them. And then we're going to also talk about one of the benefits to selling things like this. Well, that's actually the first thing we're going to talk about, because these are all cabinet cards, and they all sold. This is the, if you've been watching the What Sold videos at all, a couple weeks back, I talked about somebody came through and bought $100 worth of them. Well, the same person came back and bought $150 worth of them. So one of the advantages to selling stuff like this is that you get people that just trove your store. It happens with postcards too. They'll just look through, see what they like, they'll buy it all, and most of the time they're pretty reasonable. Most of the time they're not 50% offers, oh, you're asking 10, I'll give you 5 or something like that. They're normally a couple bucks off here and there just for, a discount for buying in bulk, and that's normally it. So that's one of the advantages to selling stuff like this. For those of you that don't know what they are, let's go over a little bit of explanation here. The years in which these were a thing, I'm not 100% on. Like, I don't know when they started versus when they end. I'm sure I could look it up, but for our purposes, we're going to say turn of the century. So early 1900s is when things like this came into effect. Now, I'm sure there's 1800s, but it seems to me that the vast majority of them are, right around that turn of the century look, before they started going to just regular photographs that we know, well, similar to what we know today. This is a cabinet card. It's a regular full-size cabinet card. Now, they do have mini ones, and they have ones smaller yet. These have a different name, and somebody told me the name a while ago, and I forgot what it was called. But here's little tiny ones. So you can see kind of big, medium, right here, big, medium, small. They're all pretty valuable. Obviously, the smaller ones are going to be a little less valuable. And then ones like these, where they're just kind of, headshots of people, they're not as valuable as, say, something like this. This would have been much more valuable had it not been written on, but it is what it is. It's well over 100 years old. And, sooner or later, it's going to catch a little bit of damage. The fact that it's even here is impressive. But yeah, these are what these things are. So there's a paper photo there, and it's typically stuck onto this card. And this card typically holds, the studio's name, maybe a logo, address. This is 96 Fifth Ave, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then they actually have another address, 43 and 45 Federal Street in Allegheny City, which I don't think is actually a thing anymore. I think it's part of our Paul Potter Pittsburgh. And then their logo typically is on the bottom as well. Not normally names. People would write names. This says Aunt Leah Davidson on it. So that's probably what her name is. But typically there's no printed names on them. Normally these are just, standard cards that everybody had, and then they would stick their pictures to them after they were developed. So, cabinet card. These ones, there's a larger picture typically in there, and this is just kind of a cardboard frame. And then these ones, same. And then these ones, same general idea, just smaller. There we got Hutchington's, photo capture. Good work at low prices. Turn your volume off in the front. Why do I do that? I don't know. But yeah, same general idea on all three of them. They do sell really well. Content does weigh heavily on these. Things like these that are just portraits of people are typically going to be on your lower end of the scale. Now, having said that, this one has value because of, the dress and because of how she looks and things of that nature. So this one's going to hold a lot of value. You're going to find a lot of children, a lot of babies. You're going to find a lot of families, things of that nature. But what you're primarily looking for is uniqueness. So if it's just a baby in a white, dress with a bassinet with nothing around it, probably going to be $4, $5, $6. If you're, if it's a baby that's maybe, in a different background or in like one of the old carriages or, maybe even, this is going to sound awful, but a deformity of some sort. People like the weird when it comes to stuff like this. So you have people that maybe are little people, or you have, bearded woman, or the lizard man, or things, circus acts, things like that. Those are going to fetch higher dollars. So it's all about content, but it also is about what the people are wearing or what they look like. Soldiers are a good one. We've had, Civil War soldiers. We've had not Revolutionary War, but we've seen all of these things. You'll see wrestlers, bare knuckle boxers, which is a big thing. This picture. Those are going to be really, really high-end sellers. Somebody was auctioning it off. It was all over HiBid. There was a cabinet card of Buffalo Bill that was authenticated and selling on HiBid, and it was up to like $74,000 or something like that. So there can be a lot of money in these if you can draw, some sort of history line with them. Now these ones are a little more difficult because this is probably just some lady. She may not be, she's probably not famous. She's probably just a lady that lived her life. But there is a possibility that you can draw some sort of line. We've had bare knuckle boxers and they've sold for, $100, $150. If you can figure out who the boxer is and if they won anything, then you're into a little bit more money, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So there is kind of a history lesson to be had with these, because you may require a little bit more research than, say, a postcard or a pair of jeans or something like that, depending on what you have. Now, again, looking at this one, there's not a lot of research involved. This is a Victorian woman in a Victorian dress with a fan. Is that a fan? Yeah, that's a fan. With this kind of pillar thing. Not really big deal. People are going to buy this based on how she's dressed. That's really it. I'll give you another example of something that is going to be on the lower end. But again, depending on what it is, you may run into some money. This is just a headshot. Now, what's selling this one is the hairstyle and the dress, and that's it. And then the ornate back of this one, because this photographer went crazy. But you're going to find a lot of these. These are your normal everyday cabinet cards that you're just going to, probably $5 to $7. Now, the other ones that are a little bit more valuable are going to be, like I said, the soldiers and things of that nature. And you're just going to kind of want to base them off of likes, because you're not going to find this exact, well, hopefully you're not going to find this exact cabinet card, because then if there's multiple copies, you're going to have to start double thinking what you're doing. But we've had doubles. We've bought in doubles, meaning that somebody had, a family photo album and there was 2 of these in one album. That's happened. But I've never looked this up and went, oh shit, there's another one right there. The exact same lady. It doesn't happen. So don't worry about that. But you're going to find likes. So, if you're looking up comps on this lady, you're going to try and find things that are, similar. So a dress that's not too flashy, but something that is kind of Victorian era, looks like this, and so forth. So, but yeah, they're easy to sell. They do almost sell themselves. Because there are hardcore collectors out there that are looking for these, and that's evident by what I just showed you, that someone came through last night. They sent us a message and said, hey, I've bought off of you before. Last time we did it this way with this so much shipping and so forth. Can we do it again? And we said, sure. And I said, send out offers. We'll accept them because we know it's you. So, and then for like 15 minutes yesterday, our phone was cha-chinging, which is always a great thing. So, yeah, cabinet cards. Look for them. So we showed you the old. And you know, like I said, $5, $7, $8 for your average. We'll go into the 70s with photos. So we've got this photo. It's a color photo. It's 3.5 by 3.5. The only reason I know this is because I've listed tons of these, and it's an odd It's an odd size. It's not an odd size. It's a normal size. We see it all the time, but for some reason eBay doesn't have it on their little drop-down menu, so I got to type it in every time. It's really annoying. But anyways, these are just color photos. Kodak Kodachrome color photos, and this is just a lady cooking in the kitchen. Now that's the content that's selling this. This could be a decoration someone's going to put up in their kitchen, and a lot of the times what people will do, same style. This person bought 2 of the same lady. This is the front view of her, and it looks like she's yawning, but still cooking. Right there. A lot of the times, people will buy they'll buy the family, which sounds awful to say, but we've had people come through that have noticed that they're the same people in our photos, and they'll keep buying photos as we add them because they like the family, or they like the, you know, kind of their vibe, I guess. I don't know why people do it, but they do. We've had people buy John and Marlene and then come back and buy more John and Marlene, and so forth. So you do, you know, run into people that collect these kind of things, and then you just may have someone that wants to decorate their house with this and maybe put 2 of these photos in their kitchen or something. That could happen too, but these sell for similar money to the cabinet cards. Now, granted, these aren't, you're not going to get up and over about $12. That's probably your ceiling on these, unless you find something really unique. But most of the time, these are going to sit right in that $6 range, which is what these sold for, $6.25 per. So, you know, family photos are commonly thrown in the garbage when people pass, or when you know, someone was maybe holding on to a photo album and the children have no idea who any of these people are. So a lot of times they end up in the garbage, and it's sad because people collect photos. I mean, it's true, but people do. And there's a fair amount of money in photos. We've sold a bunch of them. So I don't know how to tell you to source these. I know how we source them because we're fortunate enough to have some auctions around us that know better than to tell people to throw that kind of stuff away. They just say, you know, if you're okay with it, we'll put it on there. People will buy it, and sure they do. So, paper. Sell paper. It's easy to store, easy to ship. Not a lot of dimension questions. Not a lot of, you know, can you model this for me? You know, get the weirdos. So. Last thing we're going to talk about is this. And I don't know if you've watched my channel for any length of time. You've seen me hold pairs of denim jeans in my hands all the time. Because that's what we kind of started selling, was denim jeans. We had a great source for them. That dried up. I'm not 100% certain the market didn't dry up on used jeans. Because, you know, these, I thought, we bought these about a month or 2 ago. And they're unique. We don't buy your run-of-the-mill Levi's much anymore. Just because we can't steadily source them, and you do need to have some, you got to kind of play the numbers game with jeans. So you'd have to have enough on your store to be able to, you know, kind of be the top lister on them. These sold for $10, so they're not great sellers, but they are something to look out for. The only reason they sold for such little for us is because all of our clothes are on 50% off right now, because Sarah really wants to get rid of them. But these are flame resistant jeans, or flame retardant jeans. Those hold some money. There's certain brands. This is one of them that's a decent, not the top end of them. What is it, Bulwark? You could probably squeeze $20 out of them after a while. We just, again, everything's a 50% off sale. But those types of jeans, flame retardant, flame resistant jeans, are expensive brand new, and they hold a pretty good value used. So I did want to throw that in kind of at the end of this video, just to kind of give you an idea to you know, take a second look at some odd brand jeans, because the flame resistant ones can be worth money. I think Dickies makes a brand of them, and then a few other brands make these jeans, and they do fetch a really good dollar. So keep an eye out for those. That's going to wrap up this week's video. Hopefully at some point I will tighten up that postcard video and get it out to you guys, because I know I get questions all the time. So I did want to kind of do a beginner's guide to it, but I don't want to steer you wrong. Not that I would intentionally, but there was just a few things that I wasn't 100% on that I wanted to kind of run by a few people. So anywho, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. And if you haven't and you've been watching, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's free. Subscribe. Just hit it. Like that, subscribe. Anyways, we're going to get out of here. See you next time. Bye.
Good day, sir!